Hi, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks.
Following up from my last meeting, we were working on about time management and getting you set so that you are more focused in class and are able to get to the deadlines that you've set for yourself.
hmm
So, just a quick question: how is that follow-up going? Everything going good on your time management parts?
Actually, it is, yeah. I went home yesterday and I was tired, but I actually still studied for 2 hours and I went to bed in a timely manner. I used 2.5 hours that I had today and break to study efficiently. And the more relaxed I was, the better the studying went with other people too. So, yeah, it was actually really good.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. And then the advice that we've given has been very helpful to you as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool, cool. So now that we're
I haven't researched the apps though yet, the calendar apps. I didn't do that last night, but
okay, okay. So we'll just make that one of our end goals for this agenda as well. So
Mhm.
now we already know one of our follow-ups is to go ahead and research those time management apps to get you on board for your school. Okay. So
Mhm.
for this meeting, I remember that one of the goals that you wanted to set before was finding a job after graduation.
Mm.
So can I ask, what's been the process like for you? What does that look
I think my first step right now is still kind of figuring out what I actually want to do.
like? Hmm.
Um, I've looked at jobs and I've like maybe started filling out some applications and emailing people and like, researching companies. I haven't actually sent out a proper application because I've just wanted to look around first and actually figure out, okay, what do I actually want to do? What could I picture myself doing? The other question is, do I want to stay here in the States or do I want to go back home? Which is something else I have to think about.
Okay, so let's figure this out. Your very first major question would be, should you go back home to Germany, correct?
Mhm.
Or should you stay in the States? So let's break it down. What would be the benefits and obstacles of you applying to Germany?
The benefits would be I'd be home, I'd be closer to family, I'd be closer to home, which I miss.
Mm-hmm.
The the not there wouldn't really be an obstacle, I think. I think I'd have better chances of finding a job there than here almost because it's not as competitive as here maybe. And also having lived in the US for a year and coming back I think isn't bad either. But obstacles in terms of like within me, like do I really want to go back? And also I applied for an OPT, like a work permit here now. It's like $400 and I went through the whole process and I've been here for a year. So it's kind of like, do I really want to give up that opportunity right now, to just go back home, which I could technically do at any point?
Mm-hmm. All right. And then what would be the benefits and obstacles for staying in the States?
Benefits would obviously be amazing opportunities. I always wanted to live in the States. I mean, I've just been studying here, so actually working here, I think, would be a whole new experience. Um, yeah, it's an awesome opportunity. And I like living here. I like the States, but yeah.
And any obstacles that may prevent you from moving, living, or being comfortable with a job search
Oh
in.
yeah. Obviously not finding a good job or not finding a job that pays enough or yeah.
And is that your only obstacle or concern about your job search here in the States is just the finding quality job and pay?
Oh, also obviously finding a job that I'm really happy and passionate about.
Okay. And would these be the same obstacles that you would see in Germany as well? Is there any obstacles that you think would be unique to you moving back to Germany or you staying here in the States?
I think the question of finding a good job is more unique to here. Um,
Hmm.
I think in Germany I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, you never know, but I'd worry less. Also, just because here it's more competitive. I think. Um, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The question, what do I want to do and what am I passionate about, is obviously applies to both places equally. I want to obviously be happy in what I do. I don't just want to be here so I can say, oh, I'm working in the US, I'm living in the US. I obviously want to really do something I'm happy about.
Okay. So from what I'm hearing, you kind of want to move back home to Germany, but the only thing that you're not necessarily worried about or concerned about is just finding a job there. Not necessarily there's any obstacles. You have great family there. It's your home country, so you'll be feeling comfortable living there. As compared to the States, where you're saying that competition in the job market is very competitive, and it kind of makes you nervous or uncomfortable about the type of position and type of salary that you're going to get, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But you're still wanting to apply to jobs in both Germany and the United States, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then let's see this. What would you like to prioritize first? Is it priority that you would get a job that you feel secure and comfortable with, or is it priority that you are able to continue your time here in the States?
That's a good question. I think a while ago I would have said to continue my time in the States would be the priority. Like I'd do anything to be able to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I'm kind of like no, because I know I wouldn't be happy if I didn't have a job that made me happy.
All right. So let's first, because it sounds like your concern necessarily isn't about wanting to stay in the States. It's just about finding a job that you're passionate about
Mm-hmm.
and that'll pay you very well. Something that you can get both in Germany and here in the US. And so knowing that, let's try and focus in on a plan of action so that way we're both applying to jobs in Germany as a backup. So that way, if you don't find a position here in the States, you still have something to fall on.
Mm-hmm.
But because you wanted to, make sure that you're still on your OPT time, using the permit that you got to work, and making sure that you can continue on living in the States, which does seem like something that you want to have, but not necessarily something that you think may be reasonable for you as of right now. So let's just make a plan of action going along that route, making sure that if we can find good and passionable jobs for you here in the States, that we do. So first off, what has your process been so far when it comes to finding jobs in the States?
Not much. I mean, I did an internship for 6 weeks that was unpaid. I obviously spoke to a lot of different people, companies, recruiters for the internship. Yeah,
Okay.
but I haven't actually applied to a proper job yet.
Okay, so you actually haven't like sent out a single application.
No,
All
I
right.
was gonna send one out yesterday, but it's still open. But yeah, I need to send it.
So may I ask you, what companies have you looked at, and as well as companies, what positions have you looked at?
Mm, um, well, companies I've looked at like kind of progressive companies that just I feel good and comfortable about, and I feel that have like a good vibe and a good thing going on. I've considered like Google or Facebook also. I've met a few people in both companies who I had, good talks with, who said they can also help me. And so I think working for like Google, for example, could be really, really cool. You can be super creative there, do great things. I'm not even sure I'm qualified. I mean, I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying that would be like amazing. But well, the current application that I'm looking at is for a company called IDEO. They do a lot of like ideation, facilitation, workshops, design thinking, kind of like that. They're kind of like consultants almost in that sense, and I actually really like that kind of work. Um, they're in San Francisco. They're a cool company. I did a workshop with them once. I could definitely consider working for them. The only thing is that this position I'm looking at is unpaid, I think. it's for half a year, and then if you do well in that half year, you can continue. But I think this half year is unpaid, so I'm not really sure it's an option right now. Of course, it might be totally worth it if you do it and say you got it and then you did amazing and then they hired you, great. But working for free for 6 months in the US is a bit crazy. And seeing I just did an internship for 6 weeks for free, um, yeah, I don't really like that feeling because like I work hard and not getting like anything in return, and like like you said, you need to pay the rent somehow. I can't just live off of my parents for 6 months. So that's a bit of a thing. There's a lot of like job positions in marketing, which I've worked in before and that I really enjoyed. Marketing and branding. I've actually looked at many job positions in marketing and branding. The company that I interned for, they're looking for a chief marketing officer, but it's also unpaid. They only offer you equity in their newly started venture, which is cool, but same, like I need a salary, and also I don't think I'm qualified to be a chief marketing officer yet. They are also looking for an assistant to various people, like an actor in the US, in New York and whatever. Some other conscious celebrity entrepreneur, they're looking for like chiefs of staffs. So they asked me if I could imagine doing that. But I feel that I have like a specific mission in my life also and a purpose. And I feel like just being like some celebrity's assistant, whilst it might be a very cool experience, it's also like just not really aligned with where I'm going right now. So I don't think that would actually be that right for me either in the end. I think I gotta like stay true to my own, um, things and ideas, and yeah. I have a business idea that I've kind of, been carrying around, and it's funny
So
because I meet more and more people in that direction where I feel like, okay, it's
So we're gonna pause on the business idea right now, as we're
okay,
only focusing on your job search, and then we can come back to the business idea later on.
okay.
Just because I want to make sure that this meeting is only focused on your
Mhm.
job search, so that way we can get some actionable results. At
Mhm.
the end of this meeting, so that way we can continue on. Again, next meeting, if you want, we can go ahead and prepare for your upcoming business venture, if that's
Mhm.
okay with you.
Yeah, for sure. In
Cool.
Germany, I haven't checked out a single job yet, to be honest. I helped out with a startup for a while before I did this degree, which was really cool. I really liked the whole startup experience. I ended up not continuing because I did the degree, but yeah, working for a startup again could be cool.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So let's see, because you gave me a lot of information just now. So I just want to summarize what was said. The way that you're doing your job search for in America right now is going more so focused on the positions that you're passionate about and looking for, and not necessarily the companies that you will be working for. Although you did say that you do like branding, your branding and marketing positions, you also like your startup job that you had before. The job that you had previous to this was with the startup, and the internship that you had during your academic year was unpaid. The current jobs that you're looking at as of right now sound good, but then they're also unpaid as well. Is that a correct summarization of what was said so far?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are great marketing jobs that I've looked at too here that are actually paid pretty well, like in the Bay Area at least.
So let's focus in on paid jobs. So within your job search, let's not look for anything that says unpaid internship.
Yes.
If they do not give you a salary, we will not apply. That way, we can focus in on jobs that will only be a benefit to you in your upcoming graduation. Is that something that sounds agreeable with you, or are you still looking for unpaid internships?
Well, I mean, it's just a cool opportunity, like it's a IDEO, for example, is an amazing company. And I just feel that even getting an unpaid internship there would be amazing. But then again, it's like, yeah, you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? I don't know. I might still apply, just apply and send my stuff and see how it goes.
So let's ask ourselves, is it worth doing the unpaid internship? Because once we can figure out if we're going for an unpaid internship or an actual concrete salary job, then we can more so focus in on what we're doing in our job search. So when it comes
Okay.
to unpaid internships, what are the benefits and the obstacles for you for doing these internships?
Experience, getting to work for a really great company, getting to meet, really interesting people, learning a lot,
And the obstacles?
not having salary, like having to live off my parents and feeling not good about that, borrowing money from them for half a
Okay.
year.
All right. And so with this, benefit and obstacle, insight that we just had, does unpaid internship seem like something that'd be reasonable for you to do after graduation? And does it seem like something that you would actually want to do? Outside of it just being a good way of working for a great company, which you can do with a salary job, is there any added benefit from a salary job that you would get from an unpaid internship?
No, no, of course not. No, I mean, technically, I really don't want to not get paid. I obviously want to get paid.
All right. So now that we know that we want to get paid and that there's no true outside benefit of doing the unpaid internship over your salary job, let's make sure that we're focusing in on salary jobs. As well, you did say that you like startups. So a good starting point for you, I think, may be looking for startup jobs or marketing and branding jobs at local startups within areas that you may want to live in. The reason
Mhm.
I suggested this is because you have been looking at different marketing, branding, and corporate jobs of that nature within your previous searches. As well, you did state that you like the startup feel from your previous job before your time at university. And then with this, it does seem like you're still on the fence about where you want to live, whether it be Germany or America. So we
Mhm.
can still leave that open. So for the next steps, what I would recommend for you just from the basis of our conversation, would be one, going on LinkedIn, just because that's a great place to start for your job board, and doing some research on different startup companies that you may be interested in.
Mhm.
And then from there, just see what positions they have open, and then look at who's hiring for those positions within those areas. Once there, just create your list. I would say 1 to 5, either companies that you want to work for or positions that you like. And then in our next meeting, we're going to go over the recommendations, qualifications, and what would be your next step in the application process for
Mhm.
these specific jobs. Does that sound like something that you would like to do?
Yeah, sounds good. So there's another company that I found out about recently called Plenty. They
Mhm.
do vertical farmings, and the CEO's goal is to um, enable everyone to be able to afford healthy, really good food.
Mhm.
So they, through like vertical farming and robotics, they managed to grow apparently very healthy and clean food without pesticides or any kind of chemicals. And because they use robotics automation, they can cut costs extremely and yeah, and offer it at a really good price apparently. So I think that's an amazing concept because one of the things I would want most for the world is for everyone to have access to affordable, healthy food. And I love healthy food myself. So that, yeah, I've considered applying there. They have some jobs. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. And I think
Let's,
because I'm passionate about healthy food, it would actually be a good match. And see, the thing is, whether it's here in Germany, I want a job that's aligned with my like purpose and ideals. Like I couldn't just work a job to work a job. I mean, of course I could, but seeing we went to business school and now we have a chance to really select, I would rather pick a job where I can really focus on my purpose. And I think my purpose is really like mm, this, yeah, a bunch of things like healthy food, agriculture, also to do with like environmental impact, kind of it has to be something with good impact, preferably like something to do with environmental impact and climate action or, for animals, like something along those lines. Because I've always felt that that's a mission of mine. It doesn't have to be, the job doesn't have to be like doing that, but it should be somehow related at least. Or
Okay.
but then
So
again, I spoke to Libby in the last coaching session, and we actually established that one can always do those things and fight for those good causes if you're happy with what you're doing. Like, say you're happy and passionate about what you're doing. Say you're an artist, right? Because I love art, and like I always wanted to be an artist. And say you're an artist and you're super happy, and and yeah, you're happy with that, and then you're making a good living with that. It would be great to then use your, to then do activism on the side, like use your art to promote environmental awareness or something. So like you don't need to get a job in environmentalism to have an impact in that field, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
yeah, and so like I said on our follow ups, let's just go ahead and research the jobs that you're looking into. Make sure that the organization and mission statements fit what you need, and then from there, get you about a list of about 5 organizations or job titles that you're looking at, and then our next steps for our next meeting would be going over the qualifications, requirements, and any references that you may need. If that's an acceptable, cause for you, then I think that'd be a great stopping point for this meeting. If that's something that you would have liked to agree
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds good. The thing that just kind of freaks me out about LinkedIn, or like when I start looking for jobs, is the sheer amount, like you go on like AngelList or LinkedIn and you just see like 300 jobs in marketing, and you're just like, but you just feel so lost, and it scares the hell out of me because there's like so many jobs, and I don't know, and then I feel like, oh my god, I don't just want one of these, one out of 300 jobs somewhere in marketing. Like, that's so scary. How do I pick which one's the right one?
on. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So if that's okay with you, let's just go ahead, do the agenda that we set forth, and then meet back next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Great. That's that feedback.
Okay, feedback. Yeah, I know we went over time, sorry. But like obviously, yeah, sometimes I guess it just feels good for people to like let things out. And um I actually don't have a time here. That's why I didn't realize how late it's been. Like I don't see how long we've been speaking. But it did feel very rushed now in the end, and like I don't really like, I'm not in a good place. I'm not very like, I'm still like really lost and thinking too much and have all these things in my head, and it just felt very chopped and rushed. And like I obviously know you need to go, and I want to respect your time and everything, but like professionally probably you'd try and, okay, then maybe wait 5 more minutes and then listen to your client and kind of bring it to a smooth finish, just because otherwise people feel very like kind of like chopped off a little bit. um but yeah, apart from that, I think we have a good plan. That was good. The looking for jobs and the LinkedIn and the looking at specific positions. um so you gave me good action advice. You walked me through. It's also good that you differentiated between like my own business idea and looking for jobs, because like you said, we would be here another 2 hours. And it's good that you like stopped me there and said, okay, now let's just focus on jobs. Obviously in an extended coaching session, one would try to speak about all of those things and compare them and think about what's the right thing to do. But I think in this case it was obviously good that you did that. It's also good for me because it made me feel like, okay, I can just shut that out of my mind right now and focus on what's really important, what we're talking about. That was good. You broke it down for me. Yeah, what you did was good. That it made me feel like focused and structured in my head when you asked me which one is my priority in terms of looking for jobs, or what are my priorities. um, that was helpful to me because it made me evaluate my situation. And for me, the most important thing is like being fulfilled and happy with my job. I mean, you can find happiness everywhere, but like actually getting a job that's like going with my mission and that I feel fulfilled about, that's good. Not just like where. Um, so you definitely made me see that I have that priority. That's good. Maybe some more actionable dates would have been helpful for me, like to actually know, okay, I want to have applied to 5 jobs by then, or I want to have found 3 jobs that fit me really well by then and then. That's another further step we could have taken or we can take in the future. Um, Let me think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's a good start, and yeah.
Cool.